Hi, I'm Ron Garcia. I want to take a quick minute and kind of share with you some information. By this time, you've probably received our letter from Belinda and I, kind of introducing you to the Garcia Group. You've certainly gotten your communication from Jennifer regarding her transition from Tri-County. There's a bigger story behind how this transaction came about, and I'd like to have that story for you as well, but I may do that in a second video. So for now, what I want to do is just kind of outline the first steps, and I was thinking to myself, what would I want to know if I were an owner and this was occurring with my rental property? So I kind of want to answer just a few of those basic questions for you starting off, and then take it from there on the future communications. So I broke it up into 5 areas, really. There's the introduction period, there's the 30-day kind of setup period. I think there's what I'm describing as a 60 to 90-day triage period. And then there's about a first 6 months where it's really just the absorption and how we basically soft landing. And I think overall, whenever I bring on a new client, I always talk about the first year, and the first year is really your transition, because if you're like me, you've probably owned your rental for a long time. You probably don't plan on getting rid of it for a long time. So 1 year is a kind of experience in terms of just getting the ballast and making sure that relationships and the important issues are always being addressed according to your best interests. So let's start off with the introductions. Again, you got our letter, you got Jennifer's communication. You're going to get a second letter this week, and it's also going to go out to your tenants. And it's an introduction card, and it's from Carla Hoffert and Amber Clark, and they are going to be the main point of contacts for what we are now calling the Tri-County portfolio at the Garcia Group. So we're giving Tri-County its entire own silo, if you will, of service. Carla Hoffert has worked for us since 2014, and I met her. We actually were introduced to a guy named Herb Hoffert, her brother-in-law, who the family owned a construction and development company. They built duplexes, apartment complexes, and single-family homes throughout Washington County and Multnomah County. Herb was ready to retire. I was introduced to him, and we took over his property management company. He had about 60 clients, about 300 units. It's very similar to what's happening here. In that process, that was a long time ago, 10 years ago, Carla came to work for us, and she's been here ever since. Carla, her husband, is part of the Hoffert family. They've been in construction, like I say, for their whole life. Carla paints and sheetrocks on weekends. She's been a landlord, she's been a tenant coordinator, she's been a portfolio manager for us. She knows the business inside and out and has been doing it for all of her life. So we're really excited that she agreed to become the portfolio manager for this transition. Amber Clark has worked for me since about the same time, about 2015 she came on board. She was an assistant, she was a licensed agent, real estate agent, so she became our leasing agent. She moved into business development. She processed applications. She has been a maintenance coordinator. She's been a portfolio manager of condominiums throughout the greater Portland market. She's kind of worn about every hat we have in the company at one time or another. And in the last few years, she did a lot of sales. That part of the market, as you probably know, has slowed down considerably. And she's at the stage in her career where she really wants some security and some routines. So offering her the role as a property manager for the Tri-County portfolio, she jumped at it. So with Carla and Amber, you really have what I think is the dynamic duo. And it's also built to last. Carla's probably, sometime soon in the next year, 2, 3, I don't know, may retire. Amber's at that point where her career is really solidifying, so she won't. So the kind of the joint knowledge that they acquire in the first year of taking over this portfolio is to your advantage and securing you, because I think one of the things you want is not a lot of changes from what's going on with who you're talking to and who your tenants are reaching out to and how you get paid. So we're trying to set this up for the long run, and I want to let you know that. So those are the introductions. Another introduction is Alec Garcia. Alec grew up, Belinda and I worked together for 35 of our 37 years. Alec grew up in all of those. So as he graduated college a few years back, he decided he wanted to continue this business, and he has his own ideas on the future of it, and he's already implemented quite a few really substantial and exciting improvements to how we work, and I'll explain those in a bit. But his title for the company is General Manager. So in this introduction period, the next thing you're going to have after this video and this card that's being mailed out is the phone call. It might happen all at the same time. But either Amber or Carla or myself or Alec plan on dialing the phone, talking to you and just saying hi, introducing ourselves. And at this juncture, it's really just kind of a casual hello. We may not get into the entire nitty-gritty of everything we need to know about you and your properties, but we're going to learn those, okay? Because we're going to go in from introductions into the 30-day period of transition. And I guess what that transition is called is, I'm calling it the setup. So the setup is, you've been using AppFolio, we use AppFolio, but it's going to be a different AppFolio. And it's a little bit like you go to a restaurant at 11:45, if you want to order an omelet, they're going to tell you, sorry, we just stopped serving breakfast, we're cleaning the grill, and we're going to start our lunch menu. So we're cleaning the grill right now with AppFolio. So Jennifer's company, Tri-County, is going to stop on May 20th. Garcia Group is going to begin on May 25th. I'm sorry, May 21st. So you won't have much interruption, except that you're going to have a new portfolio. I mean, a new activation for your owner portal. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. So you'll have a new owner portal that you'll have to reactivate. And when you log on to the Garcia Group, it's going to have whatever balance you had at the end of the session with Tri-County will be on the beginning of the session with the Garcia Group. Your 1099 from Tri-County will end on May 20th. Your 1099 from Garcia Group at the end of the year will begin May 21st. So all the accounting is there, and they have your past records. We're going to have that going forward, all your forward records. The tenant information comes across without change. So the tenant ledgers, if they became a tenant in 2016, they're still going to be, that all of their data comes over in the merger. From their point of view, they will go dark on May 21st. They will not be able to use their tenant portal, and they won't be able to reactivate it to pay rent until May 28th. They're being notified. We're going to be watching this manually, so they're going to have about a 7-day period. That's kind of where their portal is down. But they're going to have phone numbers, emails, communication from all of us going back and forth. So we're going to be working on that setup a lot on the tenant side. So once we get through all of that, then we're into what I call the triage, which is the first 60 to 90 days. Some of you watching right now, your property is in good shape, nothing dramatic happening. You know, you're just there. That's awesome for you. Others have vacancies. They have tenants that are moving out. They have tenants that just moved in. They have things that are in maintenance work orders that are in process. They have things that are broken and need fixing, and they have things that are going to break and need fixing in the first couple months. So what we're going to be really focused on is that triage period for the first 60 days, kind of getting it all back and ballasted again. So those of you that have active issues on your property or with your tenants are going to hear and talk to us a lot more than those of you that are just running on autopilot and smooth. But those people will come on board as that kind of property drama develops. It always does. Then that's when you'll start absorbing into the company. So that absorption period is when the grass is growing and the triage is ended. The new people that, you'll get new move-outs, you'll get notices from us, you'll get used to talking with us and communicating with us. And all of that, I think by the end of this year, honestly, all the people that are part of the Tri-County portfolio will have had a chance to encounter us on some level, either dramatically with urgency and frequency, or at least on routines and answering questions and getting things squared away for you. So then the last part of this is just the overall transition, the 1-year goal. And what I alluded to a minute ago is we're in it for the long haul. We have to earn your business. As we have the second video on about just how the transaction came about and the behind the scenes pieces of this. But I do want you to know that it's in Jennifer, my, and interest to make sure your interests are super taken care of and are being addressed. So I want to say this to you with all sincerity, that you got nothing to worry about. We're going to take care of you. And the things that we don't know about you that are important, we're going to learn. And if we make a mistake or we omit something or we overlook something, I know we're going to hear about it. We're anxious to do course correction and keep you in a position where you are feeling comfortable and know that your great rental properties are being professionally managed and taken care of. So that's kind of the first little bit of information I want to give you. I'm maybe raising more questions than I'm answering, but I do want you to know that we're thinking of you, we're looking out for you, and we're excited about working for you. So thanks very much for listening.